Bob Arum says Vasiliy Lomachenko versus George Kambosos is nonsense. It's not happening. That's what he says. You believe him? Let's talk.
Push the weight and no flex. Flex alive is one in the six. Fit the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You ain't run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm an 88 pack nigga, boo. I'm an 88 pack nigga, boo. I mean, day walker, drink blood, trains out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Came across this article because, I've heard this, and I've been saying since I heard it, I can't deny or confirm. I don't know. Things come up, and you don't know where it came from. So you just look around, and there was no official announcement. I just saw a few guys say it and reposted. People reposted something from Twitter on Instagram, and I saw it and I said, this would be interesting. And it actually would make sense if this was an option, because this is just the way that boxing goes. All right, so I'm looking at this article. I'll put it in the description if you care to read it. It says here, social media has been a buzz lately about a potential lightweight fight between former champions. But as far as Bob Arum is concerned, that's nothing more than fiction, especially as Lomachenko has no plans to fight this calendar year for what's left of it due to the ongoing Ukraine conflict. Now, let me stop right there. So Bob Arum says that it's not true. Do we believe Bob? Bob has a history of pulling our chain. I mean, this is a guy that says, boxing fans are like rocks. You can kick them in any direction. It's the guy that drug out the Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather situation for as long as he could. This is a guy that was investigated by the FBI. This is the guy that's admitted to the corruption in the sport of boxing. This is a guy that also said that he thinks MMA cater to a fan base that likes white guys rolling around on the mat looking like Nazis. He said that, something to that effect. It's a long time ago. We're going about maybe 8 or 9 years ago. It's on YouTube. He said that. He said something to that effect. It's on YouTube. That's not a direct quote, but he mentioned he was taking a shot at MMA and its fan base being quote unquote racist. That's what he said. Or he alluded to that. You understand? I was like, ooh, wow, that's crazy. So now he's telling us that this fight is not a reality. I don't know. Let me read further. He says, I met with Aegis Klimas before he went off to Poland for the Usyk fight. Said via Boxing Scene. We tried to make the fight between Shakur and Loma. And Aegis told us that Loma has decided that he's not fighting again this year. Funny. So here we go back to Shakur. Now, Shakur Sanchez fans, I need you guys to make note of this. He's saying that Bob is saying, when he says we tried to get Shakur versus Loma, and Aegis says, nope, we're going back to deal with what's going on in the Ukraine. We're not fighting anymore in this calendar year. So he's going back to contribute to that war for the sake of his country. I don't know exactly what he's doing over there. But just a second ago, now did Loma tell Shakur that on Twitter, or did he tell Shakur, I got my mind on Devin Haney. I'm focused on Devin Haney. What? I could have swore he didn't say I'm going back to the Ukraine to handle my business over there. He didn't tell Shakur that. He told him he was focused on Devin Haney. Wait a minute.
What?
What's going on here? He just told us that Loma has decided not to fight again this year. That sounds like a duck. Shakur fans, that sounds like a duck. That sounds like a duck. Goes on to say, so the fact that they're talking about a fight with Loma and Kambosos is nonsense. Aegis would not have misled us. And he told us that Loma wants to take the rest of the year off. Wait a minute. So Aegis, you trust Aegis' word. You saying that he would not mislead you. You see the trust that they have between each other? You see the level of trust that they have between each other? You see that? You see that? Ain't that something? Let that marinate. He would not mislead us. I'm looking right at it. I'll put the link in the description, y'all. Aegis would not mislead us. He told us that Loma's taking the rest of the year off. You believe it? This is a guy that said the amount of money I lost on Bud, I could have bought a house in Beverly Hills. And Bud is #1 pound for pound in the world. So you believe Bob? Aegis would not mislead us. So if Loma's ducking Shakur, and when Shakur stepped to George Kambosos' team after his last win and tried to press for a fight there, what did Jim tell Shakur? Take 25%, meaning go fight Devin Haney. So Kambosos told you no. Loma told you no. He lied to you. Aegis is telling Bob Arum, we're going back to deal with what's going on in Ukraine. But Loma told Shakur, I'm laser focused on Devin Haney. Which one is it? And now Arum is telling us Aegis would not mislead us. Are y'all, hello? Are y'all following? If Lomachenko isn't fighting Shakur Stevenson for the soon-to-be vacant WBC title, it appears highly unlikely he'll fight Kambosos with no titles on the line. I beg to differ, because in this day and age, depending on who has the titles, nobody cares. Case in point, Devin is undisputed. But Tank Davis is a bigger draw. You want another one? I'll give you another one. George Kambosos was unified champion. He tried to get Lomachenko to come fight him. He wanted to break bread with his Christian brother. Did he not say that? Yes, he said that. That's what he said. And what happened? Loma says, no thanks. I'm busy over here in the Ukraine. Noble thing to do. Fine, left him alone. The Devin fight happens. Now, what's unique about that is that Lomachenko, in his mind, brought more fannies to the seat. Which means Kambosos was overlooking undisputed. He didn't care about it. Devin had the last piece of the puzzle, but he was still trying to fight Lomachenko. Are y'all paying attention, or are y'all just, going through life, you hate Devin and that's it. You love Shakur and that's it. You love Lomachenko and that's it. So of course these guys would get together. Hey, wait a minute. You want another example? I'll give you one. All right, check this out, y'all. Y'all remember a fighter by the name of Guillermo Rigondeaux? You remember that? Remember him? What did Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, what did they do? They fought each other and froze out Rigo, right? What did Frampton and Quigg do? They fought each other and froze him out. All four of those guys froze that one guy out. Are y'all paying attention or what? So please don't talk to me about titles and stuff. None of that crap matters. Asses in the seats. That's all that matters. Let me read further. Stevenson, however, is expected to headline an ESPN card on November 16th for the vacant WBC title. The only issue is finding an opponent for him, as Lomachenko will initially be expected to battle him. Well, There you go. They wanted Loma, but Loma said no thank you. Why? I think Shakur styles on Loma. Loma can't take 2 L's in a row. But hey, Shakur, let me remind you, young man, after Loma lost, in 3 out of the 4 sanctioning bodies, they still have him ranked ahead of you, with the exception of the WBO. So they could try to make that fight all they want. But if Kambosos' team and Loma's team say, yo, look, we can make a good event in Australia, you think they won't do that? And if Bob Arum can see dollar signs behind that, you think he won't allow that? Because we're like rocks. We could kick them in any directions. Like right now, it's no. Tomorrow, it'll be maybe. Next week, will be yes. Says here, we're working on that. Added of Stevenson's opponent. Well, we're getting somebody. We'll get somebody because we have resources to do it. Shakur will be in action, and we'll see who's the best available guy for him to fight. Word on the block is it's Frank Martin. But Frank Martin's on the other side of the street, allegedly. And Jermaine Ortiz, and I mean, come on. It says here, I think Shakur is the most talented guy in the lightweight division, but we're making progress in securing an opponent. You see, Shakur, a Devin Haney fight was there for you. First time, Bob Arum told Bill no over brunch. Remember they asked for that 4th option? And Bob told Bill no. Just like Bob Arum killed the Manny Pacquiao fight versus Bud Crawford. Shakur, again, are you and Bud really friends? What do y'all talk about? Did he tell you, yo, don't mess with Bob because I could have fought Manny Pacquiao 7 to 8 years ago. He killed the fight. Did he not? Look it up. Am I lying? Or did he not kill the fight for Bud? We were like, wait a minute. He's admitting that? I killed the fight. Manny's a nice guy. I knew how it would end. That's what he said. It's on record. I said, wow. Bud could have been somewhat of a rock star. He could have at least had Manny Pacquiao on his resume 8 years ago. And Bob killed the fight. Bob killed the fight. Bob killed the fight. And Shakur, you still took your behind over there? Wow. Wow. And now here you are. Bill goes to Bob and says, hey, 4th option. It's hard for us to make 135, but we'll do it for Shakur. Bob said, Y'all go ahead to 140. And we'll pick up a WBC belt with the help of Mauricio Suleiman. You know Mauricio Suleiman? The man who invented the franchise status and prevented Shakur from fighting Lomachenko 3 years ago in the first damn place. Y'all remember that? That guy. WBC guy? Yeah? The WBO, Bob Arum. WBO that's going to take Jermell Charlo's strap when he moves up to fight Canelo Alvarez. A strap that he fought for, a strap that he wants to keep. He can afford to keep it. He wants to keep it, but they're not allowing him to. Politics, right? This is who Shakur is working with, those guys. And now you're complaining? So Bob killed it, said no 4th option. Then you were offered 25%, and you said you're worth more, and now you're stuck here. You tried to get at Kambosos. They told you to take the 25% from Devin. That's gone. You're trying to fight Loma. They told you, no. We're not fighting for the rest of the year. We're dealing with this Ukraine thing. But that's not what he told you on Twitter. He told you he got Devin Haney issues. He didn't say nothing about no Ukraine or not fighting for the rest of the year. So we got 2 different things going on here, y'all. So now Bob in this article is saying it's rubbish. It's not happening. Do you believe him? It's not happening now. Next week, I don't know, we're rocks. We're getting kicked in one direction. Next week is, it's probably a good fight. Stay busy fight for them, and people like them. A month from now, we're getting an announcement right before Christmas. Lomachenko versus Kambosos in Australia, 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. How's that? Y'all trust Bob Arum? Y'all gotta let me know. Man, he could be telling the truth. He could be BSing us. Y'all decide what y'all want to believe. Because, we just rocks. Bronx on deck. Move!